Hey Soul Tribe, Tracy here with Sweet Spot e-magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, shares, views, subscribes, everything. I appreciate it all. Let's ring the bell. Let's clear out this energy, and then we'll see what the message the Spirit has for us this Monday evening, or whenever you see this message. In the pre-shuffle, it's like someone was waking up to, it's time for me to go. I gotta go. I can't be here. I gotta go. Like when you wake up and you realize you're late. This person may not be late for an appointment, but it has something to do with the amount of time that they've wasted. And they may be behind the gun. Bottom of the deck. This may have to do with partnerships and alliances. Yeah, and how somebody wants to start with you. They want to start brand new with you. Whether this is starting new or starting over, but somebody wants to start with you because you know what? They feel like you are out of this world. Almost heavenly. Earthly, angelly, And I feel like somebody's been receiving downloads. The downloads they've been receiving actually talk about how much you stand out from the crowd. How you're different. And right now, this person, it's like they've gone through enough. They have gone through enough deception, envy, and emotional loss, in their present situation. And like I said, this person feels like it's time for them to leave now. Like, it's too late. It's late. I got to go now. And whoever this person is, they intend to stand their ground. Because I feel like they wanted to go before, but for whatever reason, they were talked out of it. They were talked out of it. They were peer pressured out of it. Somebody was like, you don't really want to do all of that. You really don't want to know. Where somebody, they try and talk someone into, they say it's such a bad idea. You go out there and do your own thing, or you go find your own happiness. How somebody else they were hating their own life, and they wanted this person to hate. They wanted you to hate your life too, or whoever this person was. Yeah, this person, they have waited long enough. In fact, they waited too long. They waited too long because it was like, this person, they allowed this person, this who they considered an authority figure to run their life, and the more they ran it, the more they went in the wrong fucking direction. And now this person don't want nothing to do with that mother trucker. They want that person to be as far away from them as possible. I'm telling you, somebody was receiving downloads. Their intuition was telling them, get out now. And you know what? Like I said, their intuition was telling them how much you stand out from the crowd, how different you are, how worthy you are. This person, they want to get with you, and they want to celebrate with you because they want this to be a brand new. They want to come together with you in celebration. They want to come to you, as a couple. Like I said, they want this to begin. You and them. What else, Spirit? Okay. Yes, something about this firm foundation. Both of y'all, you can't make this up. Both of y'all started from the bottom and you worked your way to the top. It's like you both had to meet the needs and the desires of what it is that you needed as a person, and then work the way on up. It's like you both were in a period of solitude. You both were in a period of emotional loss. Something about two people going through something very similar, but didn't know that each one was going through the same thing. Yes. It's like somebody's suffering in silence as they watch you about to get your fulfillment of wishes. I mean, this is an end. These are 2 nines. You know, somebody's suffering in silence, and then the other one is getting their fulfillment of wishes. It's almost like somebody thought that they was gonna get their fulfillment, but all of a sudden they didn't. This partnership, this is spiritually protected. This is from God. This is from God. Both of y'all are confirmation. Both of y'all are spiritually protected. Both of y'all are like God's favorite. This is a union. This is a special union. This is one you don't want to forget or give up on. Your confidence is growing. Somebody's is. Their direction in life is growing. Somebody's not afraid to stand their ground now. Now they feel good about themselves. Before they had to work on themselves, but now they're starting to feel good. I don't know if it's a matter of because somebody is so pissed because they feel so betrayed, or if it's just they're ready. But regardless, it's time. This is like this material and spiritual prosperity. It's time for you to strike out. It's time for you to be victorious. It's time for you to stand your ground. This is destiny. Destiny. Somebody took a chance on their money. They took a big chance on their money, and they're finding that they lost big time. Big time. And it was like them losing, could have been everything. Them losing everything is what set them off. What made them want to get into that boat, and now it's time for me to go. Because, whenever you think about if you had everything, the next day you lost everything, you don't want to be around them same people that you lost everything, because them motherfuckers are sitting there looking at you, smiling and laughing like, you stupid ass, What's the message, Spirit? What's the message? Yeah, somebody, they woke up. Yes, and they realize now that their harmony was with you. It was about this movement, this choice, or this decision that this person made. And their heart chakra is now open. Now their heart chakra is open, and that passion is ignited. They know in which way they intend to go. They expect to have triumph because they are so tired of this. Like I said, somebody they know it's time for them to move on. This person don't doubt for a moment, not at all, because they are thinking extremely clearly now. Before, this person was, when they didn't feel so good about themselves, that's whenever they was in this mental conflict, when they didn't feel good about themselves, But it was like this person, it's like they were alone. They were alone, and it's like they were forced to be alone. Yeah, somebody was forced to be alone, and it's almost like they had to wait something out, or they were trying to wait something out. But while they were waiting, that's whenever they really started noticing about their life, about their trajectory, about which way they were going. Somebody, they're looking for some material and some spiritual prosperity. It's like they know that it comes from them. Somebody, they're ready to fight their own battles. They're ready to stick up for themselves. They're ready to stop allowing these people that they put so much stock into to push them around. Somebody is ready to stand up and protect you too. They're ready to fight for you. Somebody had to learn a very valuable lesson about sacrifice and who they sacrificed. And after who they sacrificed, they had to learn about how they sacrificed themselves. They're very aware. They are very aware of who the liar is, of who the deceiver is, of who the thief is. Somebody's very aware now of who this magician is, the witch, the warlock, whoever. They're very aware of where the deception is coming from. Like I said, it's just a matter of time. And it was time for this person to move, to go. Something is happening very quickly. It's like this person, something is happening quickly. It's like this person is having to deal with, they don't want me to talk, but I'm going to get it out. It's almost like the heartache and the loss. They feel like time is moving too fast. You know, like things are moving so fast, and they're gonna have to get out there. They're gonna have to contact you before it's too late. Before it's too late. You know, it's like if sometimes people they will procrastinate, thinking they're giving you a chance to calm down. They're not giving you a chance to calm down. What they're doing is giving you a chance to learn how to live without them. They're giving you a chance to say, you know what, I sure the hell was right, and leaving that fool alone, going without that fool. You know, this is this person that's still in that disruption and thinks that I should just give them time. No, not at all. What you need to do, instead of giving someone time, is if you know that you have fucked up royally, you don't want to give them a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 6 months, 10 months, a year. You don't want to do that. You just shot both your feet, yourself and both your feet. You want to go ahead and correct that. If you know you did somebody wrong, and you know you did somebody wrong, there's no, well, I had to sit back and think about it. No. We all have that spiritual conviction in our heart. Spirit talks to us all to let us know you was wrong, or you didn't do nothing wrong. So somebody knows that they were in the wrong. And that's whenever they should have took, that's when they should have took a step in the right direction. Instead of waiting. Like the cowardly way of waiting. And maybe somebody learned that. You know, that's a learned behavior. Being a coward is a learned behavior. What's the message? Yes. You know, that being a coward is a learned behavior. Now this person is like they trapped in fear. You know, because they was afraid to open up their heart. But now that heart is open. And the truth is, they want to come back to you because they love you. They care about you immensely. This person was lying to themselves when they was acting like they didn't care about you. Lying to themselves. And now they see that lie, that didn't help them at all. It did not help them at all. They refused to open up their third eye to see what was coming had they lied to themselves. But now somebody, it's like they had an ego death. Someone had an ego death. They definitely had to transform. Because all they could think about was you moving on. That's it. You know, they thought, I'll give it some time. This person, they'll come back. But you never came back. You never called. You never sent a text. Not an email. You never sent word by anyone else. Hell, you didn't even ask about this person. You just acted like this person no longer existed. And that's how this person felt. Like down and out. Thinking about what they used to have. Especially whenever you didn't even ask. You haven't asked anyone about this person because guess what? They wanted to ghost you. Be a ghost. Bye, Casper. We see you, but we don't see you. We know you, but we don't know you. We care, but we don't care. Yeah, like I said, somebody, they just lied to themselves, acting like they didn't feel nothing, like they didn't care, like you was easy to replace. They lied. Because ain't nobody able to replace you, boo. Not a damn person. Not a damn person. And this person is bugged up. Everybody's looking at this person like, dude or sis, you crazy. For real. Like, you really crazy for real. Like I said, somebody, they had an ego death. Everybody sat there. You know, it was like once you left, that's when people started coming up to this person talking about something. You know, I was wondering how long it was going to take because you was out of control. You treated them like shit. You know, and now this person is sitting here hoping, trying to have a mustard seed of faith that you're going to come back. Instead of just having these memories of love that they play these waiting games thinking that you was going to come back to them when it's really they need to approach you. They was lying to themselves thinking that they had it all going on. But you know what? I feel like this person's third eye is finally opening. They're finally starting to see the people around them for who they truly are. This person is starting to gain in spiritual strength. It was time. It was time. It was time for them to get their confidence up. It was time for them to realize, yes, they can move on. Yes, you know, they do need to speak up for themselves. Definitely. Yes, they got everything that they need. They have everything that they need. There's nothing that they should fear. You know, it's like this person, they find out that it's time for them to leave this devil behind. It's time for them to stop with these games. Stop with this bullshit. Stop with this fuckery. Somebody had to go in. It's way past time for them to work out what they got to work out and deal with that shadow side. It's way past that. Because what's happening is like as every day goes on, it's like the memory of you and the heartache and loss is more pronounced. This person understands they should have protected their house, their home, their family. They should have protected you. I don't know why. I'm just hearing like somebody's friends saying, man, you a sellout. You a sellout. I mean, come on, how good could you feel about yourself when those same people that were sitting here egging you on, urging you to, yeah, do it, are not saying anything about it, even when they saw you doing wrong. Those same people that didn't say anything about it, but whenever someone finally left, now they're talking about, man, you a sellout, you a sellout, you a sellout. The universe always balances itself. What comes around goes right back around. So while you're thinking that you're doing it to me, you better realize that you're just doing it to you. Because it's getting ready to come back around. Someone realizes it's time for them to start over. They have to start completely over with them. I'm telling you, somebody has to have the courage to walk away. Someone's starting completely over, but this time they're asking God to guide them. This time the crown is open. Their third eye is still opening. But this time someone is aware of things that need to happen, of where they should be, of what they have to do, of the stance that they have to make and take. This time somebody, they feel like, I cannot be afraid. I feel like it was just fear. Like they was still stuck in a little kid's body, afraid to speak up to another adult. You know? We all go through that. We all go through that. But somebody, it's time for them to make that new beginning. They're stepping out on faith. They're stepping out on faith. And like I said, they're awake. They're aware now. They're aware where they need to go. Because like I said, they feel like this is their destiny. This is their destiny. For every day that they procrastinate, though, it makes it harder and harder. But something about this passion has ignited. I'm telling you, something about this passion has ignited this fire within them. And they cannot wait. They are moving this positive movement forward. You know, especially with these 2/8s. You know, it's like they really didn't realize about karma. They didn't realize about the universe. They didn't realize about how it was going to affect them. I feel like this person, they've had to really deal with themselves. They've had to really look at themselves to see what it was that they did. Something about their intuition. Their intuition told them that they was dealing with the devil too. When they were dealing with the devil, their intuition said that is the devil. But they kept going, and that's why they ran into all these obstacles and challenges. You know, because they chose not to listen to their own intuition. They chose not to listen to their better self, thinking that it was going to hurt you. It didn't make any. It didn't mean anything until all of a sudden, like something was going on with their material harvest. You know, it's almost like, yeah, they wasn't having any. That's why there's these obstacles and challenges, especially with their money. That's when this person realized they should have stood their ground and protected you. Someone has to understand God is no joke. And God's not playing around. Especially if you're trying to play and be the devil. This is why somebody's in this space right now. That heartache and that loss. All because somebody chose not to stand up for you. It's like they was allowing somebody else to control them. somebody who was a liar, somebody who was not going to lead them in the right direction, somebody who was doing everything they could to lead them down the wrong road. Bottom of the deck. And this person acted like they didn't know which way to go. Isn't that funny? They didn't know if they should go towards you or if they should go the other way. But then now they know. Now they know, because you know what? Going towards you would have led them to that door to value. They would have accepted their assignment a long time ago. And been on that temple path. You know, they wouldn't have had to worry about, you know, their confidence and can I do it, and my heart waking up and this and that and the other, because they would have been here. They would have received justice. They would have received all their heart's desires. But instead, they followed the crowd. And the crowd was just jealous of you. Why? Because your name is your name. Because you look how you look. Because you sound how you sound. You talk how you talk. We don't know. And we'll never know. But for whatever reason, your light was irritating someone else's demons. And they followed the crowd. You know, they were so egotistical and so angry, and they thought that they could just overpower you, that everybody ganged up against you would overpower you. But they all had an eye-opening boom. No, not even close. Not even a little bit. Now it's all out. Everything is out in the open. And someone knows that they made a mistake. Now they need to be healed. Somebody want to heal. They seriously want to heal. They feel like they want to heal their heart. You know, they feel like it's time for them to heal their heart. They need to be balanced. They want to heal. They want to open up their heart chakra. You know, they feel like they need to start, you know, praying more. They feel like they need to really open themselves up to allow Spirit to work with them. This is what they have inside. But they have to allow themselves to go there, to allow themselves to get there. Because right now, this person is like they're afraid to go on this journey. They're still tied up in something. They're still dealing with this magician in the mirror. They're still reflecting in you know, from the bullshit that they've been through. Somebody has to create a plan. They got to create a plan so that they can get away from this. Completely away from whatever this is that somebody's gotten themselves into. Because they know they want to go to this door to value. It's time for them to heal. It's time for them to heal, and it's time for them to learn how to speak the hell up. Hold on. It's time for them to learn how to speak the hell up. Say what's on their mind. This is somebody that wants to say this to you. You know? Somebody's coming. This could be a younger person coming to an older woman, like a son and a mother. Somebody wants to say something to you. Because they see something very clearly now. They see. And they were afraid to move forward. They was afraid to stand up for you. They was afraid to protect you. They were afraid of this devilish person. It was just nothing but fear. But you weren't. You were never afraid of that devilish person. You always wanted to take on that motherfucker. You always wanted to say, let's bring that person in front of me You were not afraid to vanquish that person. You was not afraid to cast that person, send them straight to hell. You was not afraid of none of that. You was ready to get down. But it was somebody else who was feeling weak. Like they couldn't do it. Like they didn't know which way. And they wouldn't leave that person alone. So you had to love yourself. You had to show love to that other person. And you had to walk away. You walked away out of love. Love for yourself. And love for that other person. And that was justice. Because no matter how long you tried to stay with that person who was afraid to move, afraid to leave the devil, no matter how long you tried to stay around with that person, they were never going to get any better. They were just going to try and keep you trapped there. They were going to try and bring you down because they didn't have the strength. Now someone is looking at things. It's like they're looking at their own reflection. And they're looking at, what it was that they was actually even afraid of. And they still don't know. Because, once we look at the devil and we tell the devil, come on, because we will cast them down in the name of God, the devil is afraid of us. Once we put that holy oil, throw that holy water on it, once we say those prayers, once we do all that, the devil is afraid of us because guess what? The devil knows the devil can never overpower God. The Most High is just that, the Most High. What else, Spirit? What else? Yes, that broken heart. All because somebody refused to accept the guidance that God was giving them whenever God was talking to them. It's like they refused. They said, I don't want to hear it. But now they're really looking at that. Now they want to hear everything. What else, Spirit? What else? Anything else from this deck? Thank you. Yeah. Somebody's not happy. Oh, well, we don't give a fuck. Somebody's not happy because they're no longer in control. They're no longer in control. They feel like they lost control. Because somebody finally decided it was time for them to walk through that door to Spirit. Like they were following your footsteps. You already went. And now here they come. Going through that same door. Saving themselves. Saving themselves. And saving their family. Because you don't save your family from the devil. All you do is perish. Someone is following in your footsteps. As they should. And they know that it's going to turn out right. They know everything is going to be good. Everything. Just like it's good for you. Bottom of the deck. 4 Wands. Yep. Somebody's taking a leap of faith. They are taking a leap of faith. They've been working on freeing themselves. They have been working on freeing themselves. They've been working on balancing out this heart of theirs. getting down to the matter of what's really going on with them, how they need to be more balanced. They've been working on, yes, their balance, their giving, their receiving. They've been working on their confidence. What else, Spirit? And they're working on coming back to you. They see you as their family. They see you as their life. What else, Spirit? Yeah, because somebody learned a valuable lesson. A lesson they won't ever forget. And now they see why you are at a distance. Now they see why you stay to yourself. Now they get it. Why you don't really necessarily want to be around those people. Now this emperor is ready to understands why you had to win this war, how you came back from battle, and how you have so many accolades and people just liking you and saying all these positive things about you, whereas before they didn't want to hear it, they didn't believe it. But you know what? Somebody had to deal with their behaviors. They had to have a talk with God. They had to really get real. Not only that, but they had to go from the 9 of Pentacles to the 5 of Pentacles before they could actually really hear anything. It's like God had to take away everything so that they could hear. Now this person, they know in order for them to have anything, they gotta make a move. They gotta make a fresh start if they want to have what they was working on. And they could have been working on something big, They could have been in school. But whatever it is, they know. This emperor knows they have to do something different. They can't do the same old. I feel like somebody was really mad whenever they allowed themselves to wake up and they looked around and they saw the people around them and they really started thinking about that bullshit that they was doing. They was really upset with themselves because now they felt really left out in the cold, especially when they should have been given equally to you as you were given equally to them. Especially. I'm telling you, it's like someone's friend was like, man, you's a fool. You did that. I know you not. You know how your friends be. Once you do something, they may sit there and they watch you do something to destroy your fucking life. And after you destroyed your life and you sitting there moping around, then that's whenever they want to tell you, wait a minute, you had everything that you needed. You had the perfect person. You had the perfect position. You had the perfect this, the perfect that, but you chose to let it all go to waste. To let it all go down the drain. You chose that. So that's when somebody realized they need to get themselves in balance. They need to start getting themselves in order. But right now they felt so trapped because they was in this position with somebody else, that they didn't even want to be with. They could have lived in the house with somebody else they didn't even want to live in. And they was working with somebody only to come to find out they was working with the wrong one. Somebody, I feel like this person had a dream. A dream that seemed so real. It seemed so real and so scary, that whenever they finally woke up, they was like, oh God, wait, what does this mean? What's it mean? What's it mean? Yes, I'm telling you, this person had a dream that seemed so scary that when they woke up, they didn't know what this meant. It's like they could see that other person trying to do this magic shit on them, and this is when this person realized, yes, they had been manipulated. That's whenever somebody said, I know now who I'm with. That's when they made that judgment call that yes, they have been cohabitating with the devil. This is when somebody had to make this leap of faith. They had to start working on themselves. They had to go in a totally different direction. They had to wake up. Somebody had to go within. They had to be honest with themselves. They had to do the deep dive, the shadow work, the bullshit clearing, and everything. They went through it. And as they were going through it, that's when they realized how much they fucked up, because they should have protected you. They should have protected this union. That's what they should have fought for. Instead of fighting against you, they should have fought for you or with you. Confirmation. Now this person is sitting here looking at what they have left. From all that money, this is all they have left, and a lot of chaos. Because they were sitting there so busy trying to please the crowd. What's the message, Spirit? So busy trying to please the crowd, and wasn't nobody pleased, especially them. Yep, the crowd. So busy trying to please the crowd, and wasn't nobody pleased, except for the devil. Yep. And they chose the devil over you. Somebody understands the choice that they made. They understand how this one was loving, this one was controlling. They get that now. What's the message, Spirit? Yes, somebody's now they're ready. I feel like this emperor has really matured. You know, it's like they were on Front Street. You know, everybody was looking at them. And now I feel like this something about their spiritual maturity, the way that they're thinking, the fact that they know that they're going to have to talk, they're going to have to communicate, they're going to actually have to speak words. Not just sit there. They know that. Because their intuition is letting them know that, hey, they even have some things that they have a lot that they need to talk about. They have a lot that they need to talk about. There's some information that they didn't speak about before, but it's going to have to come out now. Especially if they want justice. If not, you're not going to even deal with them, because you're going to be like, you know what? Ain't nobody trying to deal with you. And you don't want to tell everything. And you want to keep these fucking secrets. Ain't nobody trying to deal with you and y'all fucking bullshit. They know. They know. It's time. Somebody got a motorcycle around here. What's the message? What's the message? Thank you. Yeah. They're going to have to talk about it. They're afraid that you are going to, you know, because they caused this. They're afraid that you're going to go off. Maybe I shouldn't say the words go off, but you're going to have some choice words. You're going to have some choice words, as you should, as you deserve to. You're going to have some choice words to this person for causing all this, like, all these burdens for no fucking reason. But you know what? This person, they don't even care. They don't care as long as you take them back. They don't give a shit what you say. They don't care if you go on a 7-hour rant and you just keep going without taking a breath or taking minimal sips of water in between. As long as you say you can stay, they don't care. They'll listen to it all, and they'll listen to it all this time. And they'll repeat it all just to make sure you know that they know that you know that they know they got it. I'm telling you, somebody, they ready to take a leap of faith in anything and work on this relationship with you. Anybody from that past, no, this motherfucker's gone. And you know what? And then this motherfucker had the nerve to act like they was shocked that they was gone. Somebody said, oh, fuck you, because the person that I need to be with walked the fuck away from me. That's whenever I saw exactly who you are. You just brought me pain, misery, regret. My pockets is fucked up. Somebody like, I know you lying, thinking that I'm not, like I was going to stay with you and your bugaboo self. Somebody was like, too bad these the only middle fingers I got. Let me see if I can get my toes to work. They's like pissed off because they thinking about how long, that stability, that love. You never wavered from loving them. You was always loyal. You was patient. You was kind. All of this. You never did them wrong. You never did them wrong. And for them to do you wrong, and then for you to have to stand up against them and say, I don't want you here. That hurt the hell out of them. That hurt the hell out of them. They would have wished that you would have just like took out a belt and beat their ass or something. That would have hurt less than what this hurt. Because this hurt a lot more. You taking your distance, doing you and saying fuck you to them, that hurt more than you just popping them upside the head or hitting them with a brick. That's when somebody realized how that they messed up. That's when somebody realized you was the gift. That's when somebody realized how strong you were, how much strength you had, inner strength. That's when they realized. When you was like, fuck you. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave. And that's exactly what they deserved. That was exactly what they deserved. And they know this. They know that they deserved you leaving, but they thought that you was getting ready to come back. You was like, no. As long as you got this motherfucker in your life, you won't ever see me again. That's when that got scared. That's when they knew it was no longer a fucking game. That's when they knew they played too damn much. That's when they knew they did too damn much. That's when they knew they had to get their ass in gear. Not only did they know it, but their friends told them, you are stupid. You're going to sit here and leave this one for that piece of shit over there. You're going to go over there. You're going to lose everything over there. And it's not until you lost everything over there that you realize that over there was the best thing for you. They friends like, man, you stupid. Or girl, you dumb. Sis, somebody's friends is like, sis, I hate to tell this, but you's a hoe. And somebody, they don't like what it's like whenever this person, somebody was talking to them and they was telling them the truth. And the more they was telling them the truth, the more they became upset, the more they worried, the less they could sleep, the less they could eat. the grayer their hair got. You know, the less unkempt they looked, the more disheveled they looked, the less showers they took, the more they skipped brushing their teeth, the more, you know, the more somebody told them about themselves, the less they liked it. The less they liked it. What's the message there? And I guess if one of my friends is going to keep it 100% straight with me, I'd rather spend I don't know how much time fucking up. And I know that they telling me the truth. And I'm not going to get all upset with, I might get upset with my friend, but my friend said the only reason you getting upset is because you know I'm telling you the truth. Okay, that makes a motherfucker calm the fuck down then. Because then at that point, you know, that's like if that's your friend, then you know that's your friend. You're going to have to sit there and listen. You don't want to hear it, but you going to listen. You're going to go back later and you're going to ingest that shit. You're going to internalize that shit. You're going to really be thinking about that shit. All that bullshit that somebody was doing. And that one, no time did they sit there and think, you know what? This is my family. This is the person I need to be respecting. This is who's gonna be in my corner in case anything happened to me. This is the one who's gonna be in my corner. At no time did this silly sausage head soup salad, I don't know, sucker, stop long enough to get their head straight, to pull their head out their fucking asshole. Now they want healing. You know, they want to go to calmer waters. They want to be delivered. They're asking God for forgiveness. You know? Now they're ready to end some shit. They want to have a new beginning. Now they want to open up their heart chakra because now they're thinking about how loyal you was. You know, they're thinking about all of this from how you go way back with this person. And this person has been looking at you but feeling so trapped. They want to reach out to you but they feel trapped, especially since you walked away. And after you walked away, somebody has been depressed. They've been depressed because you know what? They're looking at you and you doing good. You don't have a care in the world. And then on top of that, you're protected. They can't even come to you if they wanted. And then on top of that, they thought they had this big opportunity coming in. This great big ass opportunity coming in. But you know what? They lost it. They were passed over. And then they were sitting there like, okay, well, now what am I going to do? What's going to be my next move? But see, they didn't realize that fuck shit that they had did to you was already coming back on them. I feel like they had a dream. And they started realizing it was because they didn't use their own intuitions, because they were sitting there listening to everybody else ruin their fucking life and following the motherfuckers. Like somebody's like, no, go get that gun out that cabinet over there and put you some bullets in there. Put your initials on the outside of them bullets. Yeah. Put you some bullets in there. Now you go on down here, go on down to Jimmy's JoJo shop and shoot up everybody in there. They're not going to know nothing. And somebody was like, okay, let me go on down there like a fucking dummy. This is what this person is realizing, that they was a fucking dummy. So they can get mad at everybody else, but they got to get mad at themselves first. You can get mad at whoever you want to get mad at, but get mad at you first for being the dummy that you were. For not ending the shit that you should have ended. and or ending the shit that just shouldn't have ended. What's the message, Spirit? Yeah. Somebody had to take the blindfolds off, because they had to make a judgment call. They had to take the blindfolds off and understand that, you know what? It was because of what they did. That's why the Wheel of Fortune was not turning in their favor. They thought that they was out slicking somebody, but they was being out slicked. The only way for you not to be out slicked is if you just be 100% real. Be honest with everything that you do. Honesty. Honest in your communication, honest in your thoughts, honest in your actions. Be honest. It's not that hard. People act like honesty and loyalty is so hard. It's not even hard. It's easier than being dishonest. It's easier than having to think of a fucking lie. It's easier than having to remember a fucking excuse. Yeah, now somebody thinking about everything that they did that's coming back on them and the people that they worked with. Somebody feels ghosted. They feel all alone because, like I said, everybody sat there and watched them make this mistake. Everybody sat there and watched them make this mistake. Even when somebody was behind them saying, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And they did it. Like the world's biggest dummy. Now the communication is coming in. It's fair. And it's honest. They don't like it, but it's fair and it's honest. They just have to accept it. You ever notice that people will watch you fuck up after you fucked up royally? Then they'll judge you and not want nothing to do with you. Because they'll sit there and say, well, I was just waiting to see how far you would go. And now that I see how far I was waiting to see how far you was going to go. And now that I see how far you went, I don't want to deal with all that bullshit. You out on your own. I don't need this around. Please do me a favor. Get away from me. You're stinking up the place. Somebody like, no, fuck that. I see you a damn dog. If you could do this person like that, what would you do to me? They didn't think about that, did they? Somebody sitting there saying, damn, if you could do your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, whoever, your cousin, your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt, if you could do your best friend, if you could do them like that, what would you do to me? That's when somebody was like, I don't want you around me. We don't trust you around our kids because we see you ain't right. See? You gotta be careful. Careful of the people that you're following. In fact, why even be a follower? Why even be a follower? I don't get that. I want to be the one who starts something, not the one who brings up the rear. I don't want everybody to fart and the wind come downhill and I got to smell everybody's fart. Let me be the farter, not the fartee. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, that's it for this evening. I'm going to get off of here, spend some time with Sasha Pooh, and then get ready for my day tomorrow. I look forward to seeing y'all in the morning. Good night, and thank you so much. If you haven't had an opportunity to subscribe, please, let's get Tracy to 5,200. I love y'all. Thank you so very much.